Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, August 22, 2023, around 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call tomorrow night around 9 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be addressing the people of America and the current structure status of what has been accomplished by the bad guys and what has been accomplished to this date by the good guys. And where is this country and this planet headed? We all have a comfort zone. We establish the comfort zone, obviously, as these bodies grow older and receive more programming. Ecstasy is our very nature. Not to be ecstatic is simply unnecessary. To be ecstatic is natural, spontaneous. It needs no effort to be ecstatic. It needs great effort. It needs great effort to be miserable. That's why you look so tired, because misery is really hard work. To maintain it is really difficult because you are doing something against nature. Osho. Now, how often do we adventure out of our cozy nest of habitual life into that place where we don't know what could happen next? We may have noticed that our egos are masters of creating habits. It craves to create the perfect comfort zone so it can feel the security, sameness, and receive an impenetrable force field of safety. This comfort zone is different for everyone. For an adrenaline seeker, it may be the need to parachute out of a plane at 10,000 feet every weekend. While for the retired executive, it may be sitting by the pool in paradise every day, sipping a cold pina colada. Whoever you are, you have some form of comfort zone established that is there for you to grow out of and expand through. Unfortunately, we do not grow out of it. Every time it's disturbed, we freak out. The truth is that the ego has no real power of control at all, and cannot create 100% safety in our lives, ever. Life is inherently insecure. Only death is a sure thing, and even that's debatable. The mind can only fixate on the false notion of safety and hope that this will come true. True safety only comes from being in touch with your eternal self, that infinite part of you that will never die, the God, the pure consciousness. What could be safer than that? Everything in this world changes. The flux of matter is what makes life so exciting, spontaneous, dynamic here. Our body is not the same body that we atomically had 1 year ago. And 10,000 years from now, you may not recognize or understand half of what you see. As long as the ego is in charge and thinks it's running the show, it will be holding every one of us tightly to the lie of safety by sticking like super glue to its comfort zone. There is nothing wrong with being comfortable. In fact, it can become a precursor to a deep spiritual, mystical life experience. Yet the ego will often coax us, manipulate us, convince us to stay in an old rut or pattern just to keep its distance from the fear of the unknown. It really does believe that it's better to stay with what it has known for years, even if it feels like you are shriveling up in some lukewarm bath where there is no heat, excitement, or pizzazz. This could be a relationship, a job, salary, overweight body, lack of vacation, or just a convenient, repetitive daily routine. The ego would rather be comfortable in a velvet rut for 70-plus years than take a risk to step into true aliveness. One area where many of us may have a hideout in this velvet rut is in the arena of living abundantly. Due to past emotional programming, we may not be comfortable with actually experiencing what it is like to be truly abundant and financially free. We may not be comfortable with actually experiencing what it is like to be truly abundant and financially free. We may unconsciously be choosing to propagate a scarcity mentality just because that is what feels the safest to our ego. It may be terrifying to accept massive abundance, since that would mean you would have to stop playing small. Just imagine what would happen if we decided to expand our financial frequency and stop playing it safe. To stretch out our comfortable money zone may seem undesirable, yet it is a powerful way of redefining who we are in the world we are living in. Now, when we continue sending out the same old vibration by remaining in the same old zone, we tend to reap the same old levels of success and abundance. When we venture out beyond our comfort zone, we discover that there are many exciting opportunities and experiences that we were previously unaware of. That is what the vast unknown that makes up this universe truly contains. There is much more of what we don't know in outer space and inner space than what we do know. Sure, the ego is terrified of these infinite probabilities, yet we can only access a truly alive and abundant life by doing the thing we are most sacred to do. True growth only really happens when we consciously choose to take that big risk, to move beyond our comfort zones. Just like in yoga, while the stretching may feel uncomfortable at first, there is a pleasure that comes from extending your limbs, breathing, and relaxing into a new position. This is the point where a new consciousness can be found. The more often you do yoga, the more limber your whole being, mind, body becomes. The easier it is for you to move into new realms of thinking. If we do the same thing with abundance in our life, we will naturally attract a greater level of abundance than we could have dreamed possible. We may discover more about our hidden abundance comfort zones by answering these following questions. How comfortable, how comfortable would you feel if someone gifted you a very large sum of money? These are questions you should really ask yourself. How comfortable would you feel if someone gifted you a very large sum of money? How easy is it for you to ask someone to support you in creating abundance by using one of their business ideas, one of your business ideas? How easy is it for you to ask someone to support you in creating abundance by using one of your business ideas? How would you feel if you were to all of a sudden receive an abundance of attention, love, support, and admiration? How would you feel if you were to all of a sudden receive an abundance of attention, love, support, and admiration? And how quickly do you embrace new opportunities that could lead to more abundance in your life? How quickly do you embrace new opportunities that could lead to more abundance in your life? Now, the reason we're sharing this is that the planet, the civilization, the population, is complacent. We know that. It isn't a secret. It isn't blasphemy. It isn't ridicule. It isn't judgment. It's a known fact that the people of America are complacent. In what respect are we talking? We are talking about the fact that had the people not been, conditioned over many years, all of the things that have taken place to date to now would not have taken place. Our country would not have become a corporation. We would have not allowed it, because we would be at our posts with due diligence 24/7. Of course, we'd take breaks. We'd have others come in at the post and oversee and watch like hawks on what would transpire. We would have moved more into heart-mindedness as a people and not ego mind. We would begin mastering our ego mind and turn it into an asset rather than a liability. These are things that we can still do. But you see the comfort, that comfort zone, that inevitability, it's inevitability that we all do it. We have some form of comfort zone that feeds the ego mind into believing that, okay, it's safe to not step out of the comfort zone, to not take any big risks, to not go for things. Because, see, I've experienced this myself. When you know it, but you still do it. It's like you keep doing the same things over and over and over again and expect different results. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get different results unless you start doing something different that's going to change that direction. And this is about risk, and it's also about unknown, because you do not know what the outcome will be. So you give it to the universe. You wholeheartedly say, hey, universe, this baby is yours. I have all the faith, trust, and confidence in you and myself that things will be phenomenal. And that's it. It's like having a discussion with the team members that I've assembled, with the universe's help, and talking about how long is it going to take us to really have a breakthrough and the monies that we need to get started. Because I've got people that are really, 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 really ready to go. And the answer is, we don't know. You have to have the patience of Job. You really do. You choose to have the patience, because the universe will chime in when it is all ready to go. As you know, with the monies. And we can't, and I've been caught doing the same thing over and over again by myself, saying, oh, this will work, you know, and it doesn't. It's the same thing over and over again. So now, see, here's where it becomes tricky, because we're all set in these comfort zones, right? We're all used to doing the same thing over and over again. And then we say to ourselves, I've got to change direction. I've got to initiate with the universe a different direction, because this one obviously is not working. Would you go up to a brick wall and sit there and keep banging your head against the brick wall, hoping that brick wall would crumble and fall apart? Yeah, some people will. And I'm talking not literally, but figuratively. So we get trapped in this. We get trapped in our own country. We get trapped as people. We get trapped because of how we're influenced. You could be 90 years old and still be influenced. And we don't know quite. Because you know why we don't know? Because we were never taught how to. We were never given that information. Now, how in the heck are we supposed to know? We don't. So what do? Some of us will take a leap of faith. Some of us will say, I've got to do something different in order to get different results. It's pretty much factual. Einstein himself, he messed up so many times it was unreal. And he learned that he kept messing up. He said, I've got to do certain things that are going to keep energetic flow, and I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again because it doesn't work. If it doesn't work the first time, then you do it again. And if it doesn't work that time, you do it again, but you're doing the same thing over and over again. And so you say, well, I'll try it one more time. You try it one more time, it doesn't work. So we fall into that, and we don't know we're in it. We really don't know we're in it. And everybody has opinions. You ever experience that? Everybody's got an opinion for you. Everybody's got something to say. You go, hey, Harry, what do you think? Harry will give his take on things. And you say, hey, Bob, what do you think? And Bob will give his take on things. Hey, Mary, what do you think? Mary give her take on things. But you're the initiator. And you're using other people's thoughts or suggestions, right? The reason that the planet is in the condition it is because we were never told the truth, and most of us never woke up because of the training we've been put through unknowingly. So you look at it from a perspective of saying, and you ask yourself those questions. You really do. You say, well, I got to ask myself these questions and truthfully answer them. It's like, what are they? Can I answer these honestly? For myself? Or am I going to procrastinate and I'm going to answer them so my ego is satisfied? You ever been driving along and you see and there's not too many nowadays, but you still see some bumper sticker, right? And for some reason your eyes are drawn to the bumper sticker. And it's like, hey, Sally, this message is for you from the universe. Now, the ego would say, well, that's just silly and, don't pay attention to it. But your heart mind says, no, I want to look at that. What's the meaning in that? All the possibilities are in the unknown. Have you ever said to yourself, I'm not going to do this because I don't know what's going to happen? Or you say, how do you know that that's going to happen? You don't know. That's an unknown. That's an unknown factor. How in the heck are any of us going to know what the outcome's going to be on the unknown? We don't. We don't have a clue. But will we have confidence, faith, trust in ourselves and the universe? Doesn't matter. We go for it. How often, how many times are you going to have the opportunity in that body to go for it? You're not. You don't know that either. None of us do. Isn't it interesting, right? How we've been trained as a civilization to believe certain things. And what are those certain things that we believe? All the safe things, where we put our trust and faith in the ego mind. Not necessarily do we know we're doing that, but out of habit, that's what we do. Do you know if you're going to wake up tomorrow morning? Heck no, that's a crazy question. No, I don't know. Do you know? You can think positive and say, oh, I'll wake up tomorrow. Do you know if you're going to have enough money to pay your rent? Not really. Anything can happen to deter that. And so we have this propensity to ignore the inevitable. To ignore the inevitable. And right in this time, because of how we've been conditioned, basically, is that you're going to grow old. You're going to rot away. Your body is going to rot away. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's the ego mind. Okay? Now, attitude is everything, but a weak attitude, believed to be a strong attitude, is more detrimental than anything else. You ever had people say, you shouldn't be wearing that, you're too old to wear that? That's silly to be wearing that. You should be wearing something to accentuate your age, to make sure that everybody knows that you're old. Don't wear that. That's society, the human psyche. Instead, you go, why? I'm going to wear what I want to wear. See, that's a breakout person. We have people in this society that are breaking out, away, and free. They're going within, and they're saying, I've had enough of the material, physical world. Not that I don't appreciate it, not that I'm not grateful for it, but I'm going within, and I want to discover who in the heck I am. I want to know that I am the God in this body, the pure consciousness. That's the direction and the trek. But you see, you've got all these side things happening amongst us on the planet. You've got people in dark room labs creating AIs. You've got all this stuff, and it's just technology. It doesn't make anything grow, expand, become vibrant and highly interactive. It's just technology. And as I've had conversations with other species throughout the existence of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, it's just technology. It isn't the life's blood of a people. It is an aid. It is an assistance. And if you don't take responsibility on how it is actually structured and introduced to the civilization without harm, that becomes real tricky because the ego mind steps in then. We have opportunities as a people to expand way beyond where we're at right now today in a matter of a handful of years. Way beyond. Knowing the things that we know, those of us who are aware enough. You see, I've talked with people who claim they're aware, but then they start talking about things, and you go, oh, they're not there yet. Have you ever done that? Have you talked with people and you think, oh, wow, I found somebody I can interact with, because they seem to be pretty on the money. They seem to be pretty much awake. And then you start talking with them, and then all of a sudden they go off into this other area and go, oh, darn it, I thought they were going to be awake. And you say, I'm not going to educate them. That's going to be up them. It's going to be up to them to decide. So and they're in their comfort zone. What do you think? What do you believe that the people, right, in this country alone, do you believe that as long as they believe that they can have their barbecue in their backyards, that they have, ample enough finances, and their health is fairly good, that's what makes them happy, and they can take their 2-week vacation every year? That's what makes them happy. Do you believe the majority of Americans feel that way? Is to ask yourself. My vote is yes. And when it doesn't disturb those people a lot, it doesn't disturb them a lot because they consider themselves to be in a different category than the majority of Americans that are suffering right now. I don't believe that. I believe we're all there. I think we're all affected. The more of us that are happy, the more we'll be happy. The more of us that are sad, the more of us will be sad. So these are directions and emotional energies and frequencies that we can cognitively understand and move out of. So if we know that there is a large population of Americans that are, let's just say, skewed, not, understanding a lot of things, confused, and they have the comfort zone of saying, oh, everything will work out. That's a good attitude, though. Everything will work out. And some of them really mean it. Others are just superficially saying it because they don't know if they believe it. And it's funny. If you were to be dropped off in a town, right? You didn't have a car. All you have is clothes on your back. And I'm not talking about a big town, the old 1950s American town. And you had knowledge about certain things and you've had experience in other areas. Do you believe that in talking with certain people in that town that you could have a job, you could have a bed to sleep in, and a roof over your head, and food to eat, and water to drink within a week? Now, we're not talking about megalithic cities or anything like that. We're talking about just the old-fashioned American town community. But yet, the difference here's the difference, is that your attitude is that of, I will have these things. Period. And the universe is my best friend. It's got my back. And within that week, you will have a bed to sleep in. You will have a roof over your head. You will have food to eat and water to drink. And you will have money to buy these things. Now, how many of us would freak out in that situation? That all of a sudden you're in the middle of a small town, you don't know where you're at, you don't know what state it is, and you're just there. You check your pockets, you don't have any money, you don't have a cell phone, you can't contact anybody, and so most people would panic. They'd freak out. And years ago, I learned in survival training. We were dropped off in the middle of nowhere. I mean, nowhere, zero nowhere, out in the wilderness, so to speak. You had a table of things. You could pick 3 things. They weren't much. They could help you with certain things. And you pick them, choose wisely. And then for 6 weeks, you would have to survive on your own cunning, creativity, and confidence and faith and trust in yourself and the universe. Right? Now, I saw people panic, and they had to carry them away in a gurney. So if you panic in any situation, this is very important to know this now. Those who panic are the ones that usually end up no more. You can't panic because it is a reaction of the ego mind losing its feeling totally insecure. Heart-minded is that you're going with the flow. Things will work out. Now we have so many different opportunities and abilities that we carry with us that it's unreal. I mean, it's just so massive. We just don't know how to plug into those resources. But it's an attitude that's deep within us. It's not superficial. It's not an attitude that we just say and hope that it works. It's an attitude of deep heart-mindedness where you genuinely mean is that it'll all work out. This will be fine too. And then, of course, you'll have people say, well, I admire your courage. Well, I couldn't do that. Not in a million years. Now, remember, these are all illusions, but they seem real to us. Okay? You take a moment right now to examine where you feel trapped, stuck, and imprisoned in your life. Doesn't have to be huge. Could be light. Could be medium. Could be huge. What are those all too familiar, comfortable ways of being, doing, talking, thinking, and feeling that you tend to repeat every day? Take a moment right now to examine where you feel trapped, stuck, imprisoned in your life. What are those all too familiar, comfortable ways of being, doing, talking, thinking, and feeling that you tend to repeat every day? Where do you feel that you are most holding yourself back? Highly recommend that you write down your top 3 life situations where you feel the most trapped. You could say this is your lucky week to become outrageously courageous and step out of one or all of your inner prisons, thinking their comfort zone. It has been found that the easiest way of breaking out of your comfort zone is with little teeny steps, just nothing big, huge, get it all done overnight. No, just little teeny step, baby steps. You don't have to move to the edge of a 1,000-meter cliff to step out of your comfort zone. Some people believe that, though. You can slowly stretch out of any old habit just like you were attempting a new yoga posture or a new exercise. Next to each of your top 3 situations, write down what your personal baby step would be to move out of that old pattern. Make the effort to take that baby step every day this week. Every day you will be absolutely amazed at how much more of life you'll experience, manifest, and enjoy when you do whatever it takes to stretch into the beyond. Now you can take at least 1 hour this week sometime to write down a very extensive, long list of everything you know you need to do that will stretch you this year. What would really challenge you to step out of your box and create the experience of absolute freedom in your life? In your first assignment, you just one small step beyond your cozy little nest. So what's it going to take for you to take that giant leap into the total unknown? Do you start out with little steps, and then you have the opportunity to say, why not take the giant leap in the total unknown? Some people say, well, you're insane. You have no idea, no clue, no ground line, no structure. You're just going to jump into it. That's the ego mind talking to you. And other people. Perhaps it's as simple as eating a salad for breakfast, going on a road trip across the country alone, couch surfing, asking someone you don't like for help, giving someone you just met a hug, going to a party alone where you may not know anyone, or saying yes to a huge new opportunity that comes your way. This universe contains infinite possibilities, all ready. Believe it or not, whatever you can imagine happening to you is truly what this life has in store for you. Whatever you can imagine happening to you or for you is truly what this life has in store for you. Whatever you do, whatever any of us do, have tons of fun and laughter this week, breaking out of your comfort zone and exploring the juicy world inside you and around you. This very well could be your week to be truly alive. How many times have you been in a situation, right? And you had like a little window and you felt really kind of like free and you were going to go for something, and then it would all close and you'd back off and you'd sit back in your easy chair in your comfort zone. Maybe next time I'm going to take a pass on that, right? I'm not ready to do that yet. Maybe next year when I have more time. People have caught themselves, you know, you have a young family, you've got a couple of children, but you're on the rat race ladder. You got to get somewhere. You got to make more money. You got to provide better for the children and your loved one, and you just got to keep striving and striving. While doing that, you're missing all of the wonderful time you could have spent with your children. This happens every day. In the now moment, in this very now moment, in this country, it is happening right now. With more people than you can shake a stick at. Then they figure that they'll have enough money so that then they can slow down and they can have time with their kids. But they never end up having enough money in most cases. So in all those formidable years, their children growing up, they weren't there. And that is way beyond climbing the rat race ladder. It's really true. You just shift things. Shift them. Knowingly in the morning you go, what am I going to do today that I didn't do yesterday? In my regimen, what am I going to do different? I'm going to start doing things different. Not easy at first because it doesn't feel right. You know, it's ego mind. It doesn't feel right. You know, I'm used to doing it this way. And you say to yourself, I'm not going to do it that way anymore. I'm going to do it this way. It's kind of like shaking things up, but not going whole hog at first. I usually, you know, it's like people say, well, they go to bed at midnight, or they go to bed at 10, or they go to bed at 8, whatever the time is. Maybe they'll say, I'm going to go to bed a half an hour later, or a half an hour earlier. And I've talked about this before, but It's a proven fact if we keep doing the same things over and over again and expect different results, we're never going to get there. We just won't, lifetime after lifetime. We'll keep doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results, getting frustrated, irritated, anxious, disappointed, and suffer. True life. I don't think any of us say, I'm going to go to Earth, I'm going to get in a human body, and I'm going to suffer, by golly. I'm just going to suffer because I like it. No, a lot of us go and say, well, I'm going to have fun. That's our intention in the beginning. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy my life this time. I'm not going to take life so seriously at all. And you come across people that are just kind of lighthearted and they laugh. And you're talking about something, right, that you deem serious, and they're kind of smiling and nonchalantly paying attention. And you say to them, "Are you all right? Why do you ask?" Well, you seem like everything's a joke to you. I'm explaining something to you that to me is very serious. And you say, well, I can appreciate that, but I don't take this life seriously. Not much at all. You want to take it seriously, that's up to you, but I don't care to take it seriously. It's a entertainment piece. And everything that you do in this life, period, and you want to leave something behind, no one's going to remember you 10 years from now, really. You're not going to remember if you had $1 billion or $10. It's not going to even have an impact. You're leaving it all behind. You're leaving it all behind. And this is what we do every single time. So in the quiet time of this meditation, ask yourself some questions. Not be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. So you ask yourself some questions while you're in the now, listening to the breath, focused on being. How long have I been in my comfort zone? Ask yourself that. How long have I been in my comfort zone? When was the last time I decided to take a couple baby steps out of it? Look at the condition of the country. Look at the fear in the people's faces. The universe way may be coming along again saying, hey, maybe it's time you take that leap of faith and jump out of your comfort zone into the unknown. And join you in meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Nothing can ever destroy you. The essence of who you are cannot be threatened, harmed, or lost. It is impossible to damage a being made of light. You can relax and breathe now. Inhale this love that you are. You are safe. Let go. Enjoy. Remember, we are all surrounded by mirrors. Each being you meet is reflecting some aspect of yourself back to you. What are you seeing in the reflection today? Notice what happens when you radiate a deeper love and appreciation towards your mirror. There's great wisdom in simply watching this awesome reflection. Take these with you for the rest of the day into the evening, night, and the following morning. We will return here Wednesday, August 23, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call, and around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call. So kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on outside of you or inside of you.